Nothing can be more delightful for me to welcome you all on an Thank you. Thank you so much. Hand holding is so important and it yields results immediately. Very warm good morning to all of you. Being son of a farmer, nothing could be more dear to my heart than what has been spoken by Dr. Manoj. Dr. Chandrasekhar Pemasani, Honorable Minister, as Chairman Rajya Sabha, I have seen him in action. He brings on the table modernity, great exposure, and deep commitment. What I normally avoid, that is complimenting someone from my chair, I made an exception in his case twice. So his presence as a member of the Union Ministry of a nation that is 1.4 billion and home to 1/6 of humanity is very significant. The Honorable Agriculture Minister Shivraj Chauhan is very passionate about the cause of AARDO. He is in mission mode, and when he discussed with me, well, he enthused even the son of the farmer and made me aware of the great importance and relevance of this convergence and congregation. Sri Ahmed Ibrahim, President AARDO, Sri Kamal Glal, Vice President AARDO from Asia, Srimati Rubia Binti Wang, Vice President of AARDO from Asia, Excellencies, heads of delegations, observers. I find it very delightful when we have more vice. I am a vice president and I have taken name of already 2 vice presidents. Before I start, let me take note of the dais. We are 5 with only 1 woman being there. And let me therefore tell you, gender participation in governance is fundamental to bring about equality. Gender participation is fundamental to cut into inequities. India is perhaps the only country in the world that has constitutionally structured participation of women in governance at the village level to the extent of 1/3, at the municipal level to the extent of 1/3 minimum. And recently, I had the good fortune to preside over Rajya Sabha, the upper house, when for the Parliament, Lok Sabha, and state legislatures, a reservation has been carved out for women to the extent of 1/3. That's a historical, epochal development. It's going to be game changer for the theme which is very dear to all of you. The second situation I seek to share with you, and I do it because I got into Indian Parliament for the first time in 1989, 35 years ago. Had the good fortune to be a minister of this country, like Dr. Chandrasekhar Pemasani. I was as young as he is. The scene then and the scene now, for me, beyond belief, beyond dreams, beyond contemplation. In a country of 1.4 billion people, now we have in every household a toilet. In every household, electric connection. In every household, a cooking gas connection. In every household, piped water is on way. Every household has internet connection. Every house is connected with road. There is close by a health center that doesn't tax your pocket. And there is school education around. If I put it in a situation which can make anyone understand, when during COVID we worked from home, working from the village was far more convenient because of digital connectivity. Massive transformative steps are taken only through two aspects. One, education. And this country has enormously benefited by education being transformed. And second, empowering the people. Let me give you some indication. When it comes to internet usage per capita, we are more than that of USA and China taken together. When it comes to formalization of economy or digital transfer, direct transfers as we call, we account for more than 50% of the global community. And when it comes to giving statistics, hold your breath. We are 4 times the combined transactions of USA, UK, France and Germany. Our economic rise, economic upsurge has been phenomenal. Our economy a decade ago was in double digits on a global benchmark. Now we are 5th in the world, on way to becoming 3rd in 2 years. The nation is set for a target of a developed nation by 2047, which is no longer a dream. If I look around the accolades we have got from world institutions, and I know how they behaved, and how now they behave with some countries, how they bail out some countries, you know that more than I do, excellencies. I know how they behaved with us in the 90s when I was a minister. A gold of this country was shipped by air to be placed to 2 banks in Switzerland to sustain our fiscal credibility, because our foreign exchange then was around $1 billion. Now it's 700 billion US dollars. That jump. India, therefore, is an example in the world. What is the good soothing impact of rural development, of village development, of empowerment of the rural people? And therefore, I take this convergence as a significant milestone. This brainstorming over the next 2-3 days will be a game changer, because world stability is to be defined by growth of the rural sector, growth of the farm sector, growth of the cooperative sector. Let me share it with you, excellencies and distinguished audience. India put in its constitution panchayat elections, municipal elections and cooperatives. So this is constitutionally fortified, which means it is spinally embedded in our culture. If I look around, there are lakhs of women elected at the village level and municipal level. They are heading governance units at the village, at the district level. Right now, as indicated, the world is facing challenges. And challenges are in the shape of existence. Existential challenges. I am going beyond climate change. Climate change is a menace created by us. Reckless exploitation of natural resources, of which we are not owners, we are trustees. We thought on the planet it is meant only for human beings, ignoring living beings. And there is awareness all around because we are cliff-hanging. But other challenges are hunger, destitution, poverty. So look at the two extremes. On one hand, we have disruptive technologies. At the other hand, we have the stark, naked reality of suffering and destitution. India offers a perfect example how to leverage technology to empower people, to mitigate their suffering, to cut into corruption, to generate transparency, to generate accountability. And that is why in this country, I am sure you can have the figure 1.5 billion people. Unity in diversity, very varied. But what a seamless service connectivity, service delivery. There are no long queues for services now. Every person seems to be empowered to get benefit of technology, even if he or she has to receive some assistance. Let me give you a single illustration. 100 million farmers. Number is very large. Thrice a year, they get in their banks, in their bank accounts, government assistance directly. What is striking, ladies and gentlemen, is not that the government is equipped. What is really significant and game-changing is that my farmer sisters and brothers are duly enabled to get this assistance directly. India can be role model for the world because this has been indicated by the World Bank. The reflection by the World Bank was that the kind of technological penetration, deep digitization, availability of people-centric services to the people with ease, seamlessly, without corruption. India has attained it in 6 years, which otherwise, according to the World Bank, will take more than 4 decades. So this unprecedented assembly of ministers, secretaries, diplomats from AARDO nations is a ray of hope. It's a beacon of light. I am full of optimism and confidence that this will be brought about. And I say so because this is taking place in India. We have had G20s and we are having still. But G20 in India was different. Prime Minister Modi focused on 2 aspects particularly. One was inclusion of the African Union in G20. I would want excellencies in particular to focus on the underlying spirit of it. European Union was already a member of G20. African Union should have been at the same time. And if we look around the historical perspective, African Union becoming a member of G20 is a belated act of justice, an act that brings about equality and makes us aware all nations in sovereignty are equal. Because this country and your country suffered compromise of sovereignty on reasons which we can't figure out. That's a fundamental situation, it is there. When it came to putting Global South on radar, most people were not aware what is Global South. Look at the far-sighted vision of Prime Minister Modi. In one stroke, he put it primarily on the radar. The world came to recognize the import of in G20 of Global South. He focused on supply chains, because when a supply chain is disturbed, people in commerce industry suffer. But ultimate suffering is of those who are in the rural area, who are in the agricultural field. So these defining moments of G20 speak about our age-old concept, which was encapsulated in our G20 motto. We have always taken the world to be a family. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. One earth, one family, one future. That's the message which emanated from Delhi Declaration. I therefore have no doubt that steadfast commitment of this organization will go a long way in doing two things in particular. One, replicating success stories. Let us not put them on the backbench or back burner, as they say. Let us replicate. This country has enough to offer by governmental agencies and by private agencies to contribute to the welfare excellencies of your countries. And if you look around on a global demographic landscape, our rural regions nurture 3.6 billion lives, including 894 million rural Indians, representing both our responsibility and opportunity. Now, a challenge to our intellect is in the shape of emergence of disruptive technologies. I call it onslaught of disruptive technologies. Artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, machine learning, blockchain, and the kind. Paradigm shift every moment. No less than industrial revolution. They offer daunting challenges, but they bring also a basket of opportunities. Only if we learn to unleash them. And if we can unleash these energies, disruptive technologies, for greater good of rural India and farm sector, and of the entire world, humanity will be a safer place. India has taken some flagship initiatives, and one initiative is Digital India. Ladies and gentlemen, it was very difficult to put that fiber line in every village, remote areas. Now it is virtually 100%. India is now digital. Jal Jeevan Mission, a staggering aspect that potable water should be available in every home. It's ongoing. The National Livelihood Mission, empowering the person to empower himself or herself. There's a great scheme, let me tell you, which has transformed the rural women's lives, because they are more than 50% beneficiaries. Mudra scheme. You find employment for yourself and employment for someone else also. And when half of the humanity participates in developmental activity, results are never arithmetic, they are geometric. Our scale is very large. For some it is very scary. But a great idea occurred to the Prime Minister, and the idea was people should have affordable housing. So he made available houses to those who really need it. 26.8 million permanent homes to rural citizens. But therein he focused on one aspect which was innovative, novel, and highly impactful. In large number of cases, majorly, ownership was given to women. They got a sense of ownership. They got a sense of pride. And that is why we are living in a country, ladies and gentlemen, where women participation in startups is increasing. They have broken all ceilings. They are now in combat positions in our armed forces. They constitute 40%, more than that, of our National Cadet Corps. Rural people suffered hazards of nature, inclement weather. And inclement weather is a destroyer sometimes of all dreams. But this is a country, ladies and gentlemen, where government policies have insulated the farmer from such kind of weather disturbances, disruptions by crop insurance. One thing that drives economy is infrastructural growth. Those of you who have been in this country a decade ago and now will feel the difference. We have world-class highways. Air connectivity has gone manifold. Our railway system is one of the most modern. We have a metro rail mechanism which is unparalleled now. Right now we happen to be, I think, third in the world. But the way we are going, we are aiming for benchmark number one, because that is what our civilization demands, that is what our past ordains, and that is our demographic right also. Ladies and gentlemen, this transformation must be a global transformation. We cannot have oasis of development when it comes to rural development, farmer development. The world will be a very safe place. There will be greater harmony, greater productivity, greater happiness if rural sector blossoms all over. And that can happen when there is optimal exploitation of the talent of rural families. I urge in this country, and I urge for the global community also, the rural communities must step out beyond agriculture produce. They must engage in agriculture produce marketing, value addition, focus on daring, and we know the results are bound to be very, very positive. The foundation of sustainable development is with bricks that are available only in rural sector. Only those bricks can give firm foundations to the edifice of sustainable development. And sustainable development, ladies and gentlemen, is no longer an option. It is the only way out. AARDO has a very bold vision. And I'm sure deliberations over the next 3 days will be beyond surface scratching. They will be result oriented. I'm sure plans will be unfolded for execution in a timeline. I'm sure there will be evaluation of the decisions taken here on the point of execution thereof. And I'm sure all care and caution will be taken to ensure that our vision, our message echoes across continents. Rural development is the cornerstone of global sustainability and human dignity, intrinsically linked in our country to Viksit Bharat. I emphasized on more than one occasion. Road to development, road to progress, road to happiness, road to transformation goes through our farms, goes through our villages. And let us therefore resolve Together we shall forge ahead until every rural citizen is empowered, every village thrives, and rural-urban boundaries cease to exist. I conclude with one thought. In ancient India, a village was self-serving unit. A cluster of villages were very prosperous on every need of the society. This dream, with your participation, with your efforts, will no longer be a dream. It will be a ground realization, a ground reality. I am indeed grateful to Honorable Shivraj Singh Chauhan, a man who has been Chief Minister of a state for 1.5 decades, and along with Chandrasekhar, is handling a very powerful ministry to bring about this transformation. This will happen in India because we have nearly achieved it, and I have no doubt there must be cooperation, convergence, give and take, so that we all work on the same page for the same mission, so that we all are in the same boat, and the boat that is envy of everyone in the urban world. The divide has to end. The line has to be decimated. It has to be reversed. Urbanization must lead the reverse way by people flocking to villages for habitation. Ladies and gentlemen, I am grateful for your gracious patience and the time you have given. Thank you so much.
President, for the enriching insights. As a token of deep gratitude and appreciation, we would like to present a memento to the Honorable Vice President, for which I request Dr. Chandrasekhar Pemasani, Minister of State for Rural Development and Communication, Government of Republic of India, to kindly do the honors on behalf of AARDO. Thank you, sir. I request all the distinguished delegates to please rise again as we play the national anthem of AARDO for closing the ceremony.
Jana mana adhinayak jaya he Bharat bhagya vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachal Yamuna Ganga Uchala Jaladhi Taranga तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Distinguished